On May 28, 1977, inside the Beverly Hills Supper Club, over 2,000 guests gathered for weddings, dinners, and a sold-out comedy show. Among them was Joanna, a 23-year-old waitress carrying trays between rooms, saving her tips for a first apartment. In the cabaret room, a retired couple celebrated their anniversary right beside the stage, promising to call their daughter once the show ended. The building glittered with chandeliers. Laughter echoed through packed hallways, and while some employees whispered about the overcrowding, management insisted everything was under control. Everyone believed the night would end with late-night drives home. Instead, they were walking into one of the deadliest structural traps in American history. The first signs were subtle. Some guests noticed flickering lights or a faint smell of something burning near the wall outlets. Staff members reported smoke long before the alarms ever sounded. Despite the warnings, the music continued and drinks were served. This shows the club's physical layout, a maze-like arrangement of interconnected rooms where exits were difficult to find, even under normal conditions. While the crowd focused on the stage, extreme heat quietly crawled through the hidden, uninspected spaces above the ceilings. How could thousands of people remain oblivious to a disaster closing in around them? The turning point came when the music stopped and the power suddenly failed. At first, people laughed nervously in the darkness. They had no idea this was the final moment before the panic began. Seconds later, thick, black smoke rolled into the crowded rooms like a wave of dark water, instantly choking the air from the space. Someone screamed that the building was on fire. Tables overturned as hundreds of people rushed blindly toward the exits. The ceiling cracked with a sound like thunder. In the cabaret room, the comedian's microphone fell silent as flames swallowed the stage. The illusion of safety shattered instantly, leaving guests trapped in pitch darkness. The overcrowding created a fatal bottleneck. The sheer number of guests made it impossible for the crowd to move toward the exits quickly. Panicked guests rushed toward narrow hallways, only to find exits that vanished behind heavy curtains or locked pathways. Outside, horrified survivors stood and watched in absolute shock as the building's glowing windows suddenly burst outward into the dark night. Then came a terrible silence after the screaming stopped. The maze-like design and capacity violations turned the venue into a trap. For those caught in the deepest rooms, the number of people and the distance to the doors meant they could not physically clear the building before it collapsed. 165 people died in the fire. Human negligence engineered this tragedy, long before the first spark ever ignited. Investigators discovered severe fire code violations and dangerous overcrowding practices that were standard for the club's management. The fire was fed by outdated electrical problems. These chaotic wiring systems had been ignored for years, despite the danger they posed. The real monster was the prioritization of profit over the basic safety of the people inside. Families waited for days to identify their loved ones in the aftermath of the collapse. Survivors spoke for years about hearing the orchestra still playing in their nightmares as the smoke filled the room. While the club is gone, the death toll led directly to the mandatory fire codes and the strict occupancy standards that govern all public venues today. The story remains a warning. For those who were there, the final song of the Beverly Hills Supper Club was never allowed to finish.